Sponsors. Oh, hey, there's a Monster Energy drink here.
It's the only thing for energy. It's why you see DeHang has one by his desk all the time.
Maybe it's why Liquid's always winning. Who knows? But you know what? Who does know what's going to happen in this match? Maybe. It's going to be 40 Lions and Jahar.
I have no idea what's going to happen. It's going to be great.
I'm so scared.
I'm so terrified. Last Chance has been going so far in this bracket. There's pulling out all the stops, doing great with Ved, with Venom. And now they got two killer robots to go up against, Cooler and Toxic.
Yeah, it's going to be a big task ahead of them, but as my beaked brother did mention, this is the salty run back. It's going to be best of 5 this time around. I think they did their studying, and I think they're going to impress some people, turn some heads.
But we're seeing Tempest Shrine up first.
Yeah.
A map I was a little bit surprised to see in the pool. We got rid of Veil of Nath, which was a bit of a controversial map, and now we've got Tempest Shrine, which is a map that everybody can agree to hate.
It'll be interesting.
But I think that's been kind of the factor here. There has been some picks of Tempest Shrine where it is a little bit of a strategery.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to the champ picks for sure, but yeah, this map is pretty gigantic, a lot of open space. If you don't get the power up, that's fine. You could probably just
green
play keep
too.
away. It's always so green. The colors, dude. The colors.
But here we go. It's going to be Tempest Shrine. First map up here between Last Chance and AMD. It's going to be fantastic stuff, and I'm terrified.
I am, but we're going to get into it. The first semi-final game here, AMD versus Last Chance.
Yeah, we spent all of our quarters, so now we're going to be sporting a semi as we get into it. It's going to be Cooler as we get started. It's going to be him spawning right above the Mega, getting the drop for that, and SSG coming back out into LG. It's always going to be a little bit of a fight, but initially it's going to be about getting control over the power-up room, not because the power-up is coming up anytime soon, but because it gives you access to rail, gives you access to heavy armor, gives you access to rocket launcher, and attacking from anywhere else, it does take a bit of time.
I like that really super patient play, just waiting on this LG to punish here, and there it is. It's Ved trying to get an LG. Is he going to get fragged? Yes, Toxic jumps in with Cooler and takes down Ved, and now Yenim has to escape this 2v1 here.
Good little save there from Toxic, but Cooler's going to be left by himself by the time the second Mega comes back up. Interesting for Last Chance to actually go in for Mega number 2, but Toxic is going to be surviving that just fine. Coming back in towards the power room. Heavy's going to be back up, of course, but we've got Last Chance up above, getting the pickup. And that's also going to get them rockets as well. As you can see, nobody on AMD has rocket launcher just yet. They haven't been able to physically move to that side of the map yet.
So much LG coming out from Tox here, down to 37 HP. Escapes through for the time being here.
Looking for a little bit of pummel action on the other side of the teleporter, but like you said, everybody's being very conservative here so far. Nobody really wants to give anything away. It's going to be Ved going down. Again, a nice little bit of a save there from Toxic, but hopefully he's not in a state where he has to save Cooler too much. Here's the push through below. Heavy's going to be taken once again, and again, AMD, no rockets just yet, but here comes the first quad.
Yeah, Yenim did grab that Heavy there. Gets the frag on Cooler because of that power of Christ here as he's trying to get this, and he will get the power up, switches to machine gun, gets the frag on Toxic. Well done here, has a totem to heal back up, but still, no rockets.
Yeah, and Piercing Sight's been used, so it's going to be all the information that Venom can use to make good on this quad. But he's going to be soaking his way back over towards Mega as well, actually using this a little bit defensively, as they're currently down a couple of frags, but oh, there's the quad totem doing what it do.
So much quad totem action here. Might be able to get one more, does get that tickle on a Toxic. Wow, what a rail switch as well. Really getting the mileage out of that quad there at the last second.
And really good work here out of Venom. Like, we've seen him kind of playing this thing solo for the last minute or so. We haven't seen too much of Vedmedic himself, but they've brought it up, and with that quad, it's going to be 9-6. And you can kind of see the tectonic shifts of this map, you know, kind of rotating back towards Heavy and then rotating back towards Mega, especially with the timings being split the way they are, which means that we've got a really good chance for Last Chance to maintain in the running here for a while.
Yeah, I like the swing of momentum here. As Yenim going through the TP, might get a shot at a rail here. Ved takes him out, doesn't even need the rail yet, but Toxic making his way over to that platform. And gets a free shot as Yenim not paying attention there. 15 HP does get a rail, but that totem.
Whoops. Yeah, you got to watch your step there. And sticking around in mid like that, there's so many rail angles to abuse. You've got to be really careful. I'm surprised there haven't been more fights in the LG room, but really moving through LG back towards the power-up is really going to be the name of the game. Cooler's making the move back over towards the rocket launcher at Heavy right now. It's going to be barreling down the staircase, taking down Ved, and it looks like Venom's going to be vulnerable as well. There's the Heavy pickup, and again, no rockets here. Like, it's just too risky to drop down for that pickup at the moment. It's all about getting back over here towards the Mega. That goes down again, and Venom's going, why are we getting into these fights right now? Like, this is not the time. Ved killed himself. I don't know why.
I don't know what happened there, but 8 seconds to the power-up. Cooler will get more LG, has the Mega, and is going to push through this TP here. Eats a little bit of totem damage, a little bit of rockets as well. Frags Yenum. Can he get the second? The shotgun is good.
Shotgun there.
Yeah, protection and a totem. And a heavy, so Cooler looking very stacked and has rockets now. Could be super deadly, 12 to 11.
That totem didn't even trigger. Okay, all right, neat. That's gonna be Cooler going on a bit of a run, trying to RJ it right back into the LG room, and this is turning into 2 1v1 situations, but at the moment, it's gonna allow AMD to take charge of things. That was a great rocket jump. We'll not mention that to him ever again. He doesn't like being reminded of his failures.
It was tactical, but yeah. Again, just face checking totems doesn't really matter. Toxic takes down Ved here as they're starting to widen the gap ever so slowly here for AMD.
It's going to be Cooler looking for a bit of a chase. It was a late pickup of the railgun, so he wasn't able to really commit to this fight. We're seeing a lot more action on the Tri-Bolt hallway itself. Just being able to very quickly move between, you know, the Power Broom and Mega. But Cooler coming here through the nail gun, getting a lot of damage done on the jump pad, but Venom is there to make the saving play. It's going to be traded frags one after another. Who's going to come after Toxic? Nobody wants to touch him.
Absolutely a trampoline of death with that LG here. Is Toxic again staying alive. That LG doing a lot of work for him here, and that rail as well as he takes down Ved, has the vision as well, can go through the TP and maybe get another one. Great rail, forcing Yenum through the TP.
It's going to be a bit of a shift over here towards the Mega. You can see everybody racing towards it, but Toxic is going to have the benefit of staying high and dry, looking for the LG damage. He's going to be a little bit low on cells, but there's the rail taking down Venom and making this a very solid lead for them. My God, he is just hitting every rail. This is Toxic at his top form, and it's one of my favorite things to see in the entire game.
Yeah, this is absolutely insane. Let's go ahead and listen in to AMD before this next quad.
Try to push back. Yeah, try to push back.
Weak. He's dead.
Yeah, one shaft. Oh, he railed. Heal up.
I can't.
Yeah. Coming heavy now.
Okay, I'm playing Mega then. Just hide.
That machine gun.
Going Tri-Bolt. Behind us.
I mean, fairly quiet from their end. I mean, you can see how focused they are just on every individual fight they get into. And that's one of the things that Tempest Shrine affords you to do a little bit, is to split off and make these into individual duels. But there is still the cycling back to Heavy, the cycling back to Mega. And of course, the power up here as the quad runs out. 21 to 16, very close here so far. Ved, we haven't seen too much of him so far, but he's been one of my favorite players to watch in this 2v2 Cup.
Yeah, they got decent mileage out of that quad. I like how calm and collected Cooler and Tox stayed during that power-up as they tried to play defensive there. That is going to drop down and get quite literally the drop on Cooler, and might follow up onto this frag with Toxic here. The LGs come out, but Toxic gets the better of them, but you get him right there to trade it out.
That rail didn't come, you know, like a second earlier, you know, that was like, oh, now you shoot. All right, great, perfect.
Yep.
I bet there's going to be some more good damage here. He's got plenty of cells. LG's going to be able to pull out. And we've got, the steal of the Heavy, but you are out of the map, son.
Oh, Yenum can't swim. Poor guy. Toxic pushes him out of the map. And now they have control of middle for the most part here. Toxic goes through the TP and gets that upper control. Cooler takes down Yenum. Toxic is going to get the drop on here. Cooler is like, I got it. Don't worry about it. Yenum goes through the TP. And that's going to be another kill for Toxic here as they're just widening this gap now.
It's wide, but it's not out of the running for last chance just yet. And there's Venom taking things back around, moving in towards the rail. Hopefully getting some good intel from Ved. And, I mean, this is going to be just a great opening. Cooler goes down. And where is Tox? I mean, Venom is just, like, begging for a fight. He doesn't have any armor. He doesn't have a whole lot of weapons to work with, but he's wanting to get some damage done as the protection's coming up. It's going to be him on the pickup, a fairly clean one, not really contested. It was only one angle that AMD was coming from.
Yeah, that was... Oh, needs to be very careful here. 35 HP. A little bit of LG here. Does have 225 to work with as Toxic tries to get the frag. Ved right there to back up his teammate. And now they need to try and find more frags here. Down by 8, he'll miss the opening rail. Heavy goes to AMD. Great rails from Cooler there. Yenum can't really take much more of this. Cooler standing his ground with that railgun. Again, I'm trying to find at least one more shot here, but it's going to tick away, and he's just going to have to settle for 225s.
He didn't die, though, and Ved is still alive as well. So, oh, but Cooler around the corner. I mean, that is such a... Yeah, I did kind of curse him a little bit, but we got some great plays on that choke point. We got Ved recovering on the 50 health. There's only like a few spots on Tempest Shrine where you can reliably get health, and that's one of the things you can really do is kind of goad players and herd them into these spots and punish them for doing so. But that's where the Galena totems really come in. That's why you have kind of necessary Galenas on both sides here. Ved is having to back up, trying to throw down one more rail, doesn't quite get it, as Tox is going to be coming back into LG. He's railable himself. He's going to have to be a little bit careful about his corners.
Does have a little bit of a totem there to help him. He can tank 2 if he needs it. Heavy's not going to be up for a while, so they might lose out on the Mega here, but it looks like last chance nowhere to be found in terms of the Mega. But the rails are found as Yenim hits 2 in a row on Toxic.
Yeah, you could see him like wanting to play that corner, realizing how low he was, how risky it was, and there's a little bit of hesitation there. Not something you usually see out of Toxic, but 33-26, they're still looking at a comfortable lead. And we are 30 seconds away from the quad, and at the moment, Venom's actually in a really good state. He's going to be dropping down, trying to finish off Cooler here as well. Not quite. Oh, okay, there it is. All right, neat. He took a little bit more damage, and he's actually going to be leaving the quad room for just a moment, but he's got to make sure to keep his back safe, keep his face unexposed, but Toxic is able to rain him down no matter what.
Gets the Heavy. He's going to make his way back over to the quad here. 4 seconds. A good rocket pop here. A good follow-up rocket, but the third one will not hit. Toxic can't get in there, but Cooler's right there to take out Ved and Yenim. That's going to net them the power-up. Yeah, that sometimes it's less about making the frag during the power-up spawn and more about just like doing the damage, keeping them physically away. And you can see that Cooler's got the quad, but he's at 4 HP. He's hoping that Toxic is going to come save him. He's down there at the pillar. He's going to get MG down. And where is Toxic? He's down below, but also taken down by Ved. That's going to allow him a few precious seconds on this quad. Mega's not going to be there. He's looking like it's going to be coming up, but he's trying to get some frags here as well. Yeah, it does a little bit of damage, but can't quite find that frag on Cooler there. Does get a rail and a nice 50 shard. Down 7 frags. It's still very within the realm of possibilities to get as he pushes Cooler away here from that TP he's going to chase.
Yeah, right now the biggest benefit they got from that quad was just the frags that they made actually guarding it, but Cooler really playing 4D chess with the teleporters and making it very difficult to track him down, but 8 frags to go. Ved is still going to be solid here, popping back through the TP himself, looking for the rail, not quite going to get it, but he's got to worry about attacks from both sides now. He's going to be breaking off, wondering where Venom is going to be coming from. There it is, and Cooler goes down. There's the rail from behind. Nobody's looking for Ved, and that can be so dangerous.
Almost finishes off that frag, but they both escape. Again, very important that they don't die in this stage of the game here. 32-39. AMD looking to try and get back in on some of these items. Next item will be Heavy in about 9 seconds. Ved grabbing some more LG. So deadly with it.
Yeah, it's going to be a pop through the teleporter. He doesn't go outside the teleporter that'll put him on the spot for Heavy, but it does allow him to set up a bit of a camp here on the choke point. It's going to be just like throwing off as much damage before you inevitably die, but it will guard that Heavy armor. In fact, it hasn't even been picked up yet, and so Cooler's going to be back at the Mega side, and that'll put the items relatively back in sync.
Cooler grabs his 50, makes his way towards the tri-bolt here. 8 seconds, he's gonna power through this TP. Nice 2v1 there. Cooler takes him down. Can he take it down? Yenim here as Yenim tries to stand his ground, but Cooler's just too strong with that shaft.
And we're gonna get a little bit of comms here from Cooler as he's gonna be on this protection.
He's on Heavy. I'm coming to you.
They got Mega.
Okay, I have Mega health totems. One's chasing me.
All right. I'm gonna get LG in.
You could hear how quiet it was there a little bit. I mean, we're 6 frags away for AMD taking the first map on Tempest Shrine. And again, I don't want to write last chance out of this at all, but there is some level of cohesion that's difficult to maintain on a map that's this large. And it really means that if you can organize and encourage some of these 2v1s, that could really be worth its weight in gold. But right now, without any rails from Venom, I don't know what he can do from this angle. Well, pulling out machine gun could be the trick.
That's definitely a good start here as he's also avoiding some of the rails. The tri-bolt will help. Somehow dodges both of those rails, but at this point, they're not only battling the frag limit, they're also battling the time here as it's ticking away.
You're absolutely right. We've got just over 3 minutes left on the clock, or 2 minutes left on the clock. I can never try to do math on screen.
Numbers are hard.
They are hard.
That's the hardest part of
But it's going to be a difficult run for last chance as well. They're only down by the 9 frags. They're doing good damage, but you can see AMD start to kind of, hide back in some of these corners, play the machine gun, play the railgun, and making it very difficult to force a fight. We're going to see one more quad here at the very least.
Those long-range rails are not quite landing, but again, they're totally comfortable just keeping the distance and saying, yeah, even if you get the quad, you have a lot of frags to make up. You have to find us first. Good luck.
I mean, this is a great stack for Venom. I mean, that's one of the things that happens when you just turtle up and try to camp out the last few moments, is that you're pretty much giving the entire map control away to your opponents. That means armor, that means mega, that means quad. And right now, this is where AMD is choosing to push out just as Venom picks up that quad, giving a lot of opportunity for even machine gun frags. This is a little bit weird out of AMD. Cooler is sitting back there going, I don't know what you're doing, Toxic. Like, this is in the bag for us. We don't need to be giving this away.
Yeah, with a minute left and a 7 frag lead, Yenam and Ved really need to just go on the hunt here. They have no other choice. That rocket was phenomenal as he fell down. Will he check his corner? There it is.
It's good damage with the quad, and Venom's able to get at least one more frag off of it. Now 5 frags to go, and I think Toxic kind of handing some of those frags away during the quad run. That is making everything doable, but as you could see, Venom was completely turned around there in the pillar room.
Yeah, 2 quick frags over there.
Look at all these totems. Yeah.
37 to 40
Yum,
with
yum,
about
yum.
30 seconds left, and this looks a little bit out of the realm of possibilities as Toxic takes down Yenam. 2 frags left with 30 seconds.
It's like make your own mega, build your own mega health. And it's going to be one more frag. Toxic is going to be out on the prowl for it. We've got both players from Last Chance kind of hovering around the power broom, but not quite committed to it. Toxic doesn't have a rail out here, so it's going to be up to Cooler for the long-range damage, but here comes the machine gun, here comes the chase, and that is going to be AMD taking map 1 on Tempest Shrine. Nice little handshake there.
I like it. They're like, we did it. Team
And that was it. That was like all the emotion they had. They were like, yeah.
And they're like, never look at me again.
You get 1 per day. No more eye contact
don't
even.
look too fussed about it. I mean, they know, okay, yeah, 10 frags, that wasn't that bad.
It really wasn't. It was fascinating watching kind of the pacing of that, because compared to a map like Awoken, which is not even in this lineup now, it's not going to be constant, rail, rockets heavy all the time. You're looking for very specific situations, unless you just try to crawl through the LG choke point.
That
At
rail
that
was
point, it's
amazing.
going to be nasty. Yeah. Really
Toxic
good shots all around.
really went off. Like you said, it was like highlight reel Toxic with the railgun there.
That's one of my favorite things about Toxic, is that when he's on his game, he's not only hitting well, he is like way inside everybody's psyche. He is just reaching this zen point. Whether or not we're going to see that continue in the series, whether or not we're going to see that tomorrow in Duel, it remains to be seen, but right now AMD is looking very strong.
Yeah, yep, definitely looking strong. We're going to have to see if the young Lord Ved and Yenam can turn this around on Molten Falls. It's going to be a lot smaller of a map, so a lot more action here, and I feel like the lulls in the action actually benefited AMD, because at a certain point they had the frag
totally
lead,
right.
and it was Tox, where are you going? Stay with me.
You were watching Last Chance a little bit yesterday, and when their adrenaline was pumping, Ved was hitting insane stuff. Venom was Ved and Venom were both just completely going off the rails, or on the rails rather. Some of those shots on Awoken, never seen anything like it. But we're going to be going from a large map to another large map. It's going to be Molten Falls, which means, again, I really hope that both of these guys can, kind of go from, Gear 1 to Gear 4.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what Vednam can do. It's their new name. It's a new tagline for them.
It really should be. It just makes more sense. But here we go, getting ready on Molten Falls. This one actually, the size is large, but you still see the same kind of intense fights around the nail gun, around the LG, around the Mega especially. And it's going to be some crazy quad runs, and hopefully a little bit of a better deal for Vedmedic and Venom.
Then we're going to start off on Cooler here as he gets the 50 shard. Toxic's going to grab that Mega. Cooler opts for those rockets. So deadly as we saw earlier here.
Nice.
Initial rail lands perfectly.
Yeah, that railgun spawn is one that is going to be valuable, but get right out of the map, Venom. That's going to allow Cooler to get on his own railgun. Not quite willing to wait for it. Wants to come in for the for the rescue on Toxic. It's going to be just a little bit too late. So, you know, it was the thought that counts, Cooler. That's all that matters.
Like, I'm sorry about that. Peppering this tribal here. Cooler needs to be careful, and down goes Cooler. That takes him out.
Ved just raining down the Tribolt on this heavy armor pickup and then leaving with 36 HP. Mega's already going to be gone. Not a lot for him to grab on this side of the map. He's got to be very careful. But back up top, he can see everybody on AMD running out his way, and he's going to go in for it. He doesn't have any snipe, but down goes Cooler. Down goes the totem, and Toxic is going to be in dire straits as well.
Cooler jumping right back in, though, and Ved misplaces that rocket just barely.
Whoops.
Wow, Cooler doesn't misplace that rail as it just goes right through Yenim there. And with 25 seconds left until the quad, Cooler annihilates him with another rail. Will not get out on the heavy. Toxic is like, that's mine, actually.
There's been a few moments already of, really, you're here? Why are you here? Don't ask me why I'm here. Why are you here? I guess, okay, we'll fight, I guess, but we're looking for this LG across the map, and Cooler's going to be looking for it. I'm not sure what else he wanted out of that, although it's going to be a good time to switch over to rail, but it's going to be Toxic and Cooler picking up that pair of frags, and this is very dangerous. We've got Mega coming up, we got Heavy coming up, and they can even look for the split, and with that quad, it's going to be shut down. Ved with the perfect trap. That's the kind of crap we were looking for him earlier on, and we saw a lot of it yesterday, and now with this quad, hopefully he can break out into mid and make some damage dealt.
Needs to try and find the enemies here is the issue. So that is going to tick away. Only one frag lead here for AMD. Might be able to catch him out around the corner. Doesn't really want to push too much. Playing that, just edging around that corner. That's got to be so frustrating. And Toxic actually turns that around on Ved and says, "Yeah, got you, buddy." Yenim does take out
It's got to be so frustrating. I was just hearing a sad trombone the whole time as Toxic and Cooler were just able to kite them around, going, "All right, cool, you got a quad. You're not going to find us."
Yenim does find Cooler there. Toxic needs to be careful on this 2v1 here. Again, the Tribolt's coming out from that range so deadly. Toxic takes down Ved, barely surviving with 38 HP.
Is this going for a shooting gallery? Well, that gallery shoots back a little bit, but Toxic really had to play the long game. He didn't have rail, didn't have rockets at the time, or Tribolt rather, but he's going to be just eating another totem and a rail from Venom. Looks like if they can keep the top of the map, they can control the pacing of these fights a little bit more, but you got to drop down for either the Mega or the Heavy at some point.
Yeah, Yenim is doing a great job of making sure that top telly is always totemed. Getting that easy damage and that easy rail there. A cheeky little peek there.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly wasn't expecting it. So Venom coming back in towards Nailgun. He's looking for anybody to come up on top. And we're going to see another exact timing duplicate between Mega and Heavy. He's looking for the rail. It's going to be traded with, just ducking down. You don't see me. And he's able to throw out his own shot. And it's going to be Ved getting the finisher. And hopefully that means that Ved will be able to take away Mega. Well, it's going to be heavy armor for Venom, who has no armor, or no health rather. And Mega for Ved.
And again, Cooler face checks the totem, and that'll be a frag. 13-9, and they get the protection here. And this is looking pretty good. Can Ved convert into some frags?
He's only got 52 health, which even with the protection isn't going to be very much. So we'll be looking for a few things to recover on. And the rail room would be dangerous, especially since they don't have any intel on who's there. But Cooler's been spotted, Toxic's been spotted, Mega's up, and this is something that Ved definitely needs. This hasn't been a very effective protection for them, but through the teleporter, he's able to clear out the totem and hopefully find Toxic down below.
Doesn't have any LG, needs to rain down rockets, gets a little bit. Again, tries to swap LG, but you know that you don't have LG. But they trade out, and not the worst protection. I mean, they did get Mega timing here. Didn't get a lot of frags, but still have a 2-frag lead.
Every fight here has been like pulling teeth, but as it stands, last chance is going to be up by, well, just a couple of frags. Toxic getting a very clean finish. Mega's coming back up as well as Red. A good rail out of Toxic is going to set the pace for that item. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be much justification for Ved even staying there. Time to leave.
Yeah. And then Toxic forces him out with that rail. Cooler taking down Ved. Just like that, the swing goes AMD's way as they're up by 2 frags now.
Yeah, last chance. I mean, they're in a bit of a dire straits right now where they don't really know which item to try to secure, and because they're relatively on the same timer, it's very difficult to make anything like a concentrated rotation, so they're getting caught in a lot of these 1v1 or 2v1 fights. Not something you want, and not something that gives you a very good precedent moving into the quad, but they're making a bit more of an effort here on the Heavy.
Wow,
it's going to be a pickup. It's going to be a hard-fought pickup, but at least they've got something here.
That trouble was fantastic. Yanum's going to double up with Ved over here by the rail. They're going to try and position themselves for this quad, which is coming up shortly. Raining down rails, trying to keep them off of that position here. So Yanum decides to go back towards the nail.
This is going to be a long way to go.
Yeah, he wanted some LG.
Oh, but
Doesn't
Toxic is
actually
caught. The
convert.
Mega's up. Toxic thought that there's no way Venom is going to be coming through here, so Venom absolutely beasting it here. Quad's going to be up.
Oh my
Toxic
God.
goes down again, and Ved is going to be on the quad. What a fantastic play out of Venom.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. The donk rocket from Ved as well gets the information, probably calls it out, says, hey, he's over at LG at least.
Nobody was expecting Venom to rotate back around to Mega. I didn't think he had time. Neither did AMD, but that's going to tie things back up. Even if Ved gets nothing out of this quad, this sets a very good pacing for them.
Does get a little LG tickle there. He's going to double back through the telly. Needs to be careful as 2-on-1. Yenum actually distracting for a little bit, but Ved not taking advantage of it. Tox takes down Yenum. And now Ved gets 2v1 here as Cooler goes through the TP behind him.
A good response to that rotation, but it's going to be AMD moving as a unit to the Mega, making a lot of damage happen with rails. And yeah, you try to set up on that corner like, oh, he's going to be down there, but very quickly, you got to remember, this is 2v2. There's going to be somebody behind you all the time.
Always look behind you.
Gotta have eyes on the back of your head. But we got Cooler, Tox back here on top of the Heavy, and this is actually very dangerous. Now they can start to just make that that Oregon Trail train all the way from the Mega to the Heavy without having to worry about too much.
Yeah, Cooler gets one rail on the exit there, holding this top position, is going to re-up on the Rockets. Another fantastic rail from Cooler. Switches to Rockets and might get this frag on Yenum, but not before Yenum takes down Toxic. Cooler actually takes down Ved. And does get the Mega, so 30 seconds until the power up, and if it's just a matter of who can control the top until this spawns.
This is going to be a big one. We do have the Mega coming up right before the protection, just like what happened with the quad. But right now we're looking at AMD really having a tough time holding on to any of these items. Now I appreciate that Last Chance has been able to fight in and go, all right, you're not going to get like full rotations of Mega and Heavy. You're not just going to like gallivant around the map taking whatever you please. They're keeping it very close. We do have the Mega back up. Cooler's not really timing it though. He's not really looking for it. Nobody on AMD is, and that's going to be a free Mega and possibly a free protection as well, but Cooler has got the pickup.
Yeah, let's listen in to AMD and see if they're going to convert any of this to frags.
Both dropping. I'm going shaft to rocket.
Turret, rocket, lower green at rocket, and
Yeah,
teleporter quad.
One dead, playing Mega. One more.
I'm there.
Israel. Super weak.
They spawn on lower.
Yep. One more.
I
Israel.
need help on shaft.
We're coming. Stay alive.
44 next heavy.
One at shaft. Galena railed at shaft. Push Mega, please. Weak. One more.
One more.
Trying to help. One bubble for you. And Totem is coming.
Going up.
Heavy railing, be careful. I go rail.
Need weapons.
There is what? Okay, I can die.
It's fascinating because you could hear a few moments where they weren't exactly sure how Last Chance was moving around, and even though individually they're able to make these fights happen very consecutively and concisely, there are moments where Last Chance kind of is giving AMD the runaround, which is why the score is as close as it is. But over the last minute, we have just seen frag after frag after frag out of AMD, and with this timing being what it is, it's very difficult and dangerous for Last Chance.
Yeah, Cooler said please.
That made me do a double
My jaw
take, in fact,
hit the floor.
It was a little bit of a sarcastic please, like, you know, come on, like, be at Mega. And I wasn't even expecting Toxic to, like, push the same choke point that Cooler was. Maybe Cooler wasn't expecting that either, but again, they're just really feeling their rails and LGs right now. Toxic rotating back over towards Mega. We've got 5 seconds to the quad. Ved's gonna go down. Toxic wants to get down, but he's gonna be doing it as a corpse.
Toxic gets in on the quad after they go on quite a tear without the power-up, and now with it, it's going to be even more dangerous. Good rail from Yenum there, but Toxic has quite the stack and all the weaponry he needs. Ugh. So much damage from that quad machine gun. Finishes it off with the LG tickle. Goes through the telly, finds Ved as well, has the vision, knows exactly where to go for another one. Here he goes up the jump pad and gets another one. And they're just bursting this thing wide open here at the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, and really, piercing sight or not, it's like Last Chance is putting themselves in a position where they can easily be found and easily chased. I mean, we've seen so many moments where, wow, even if you know exactly where they are, it's so difficult to catch them. And my God, Toxic is with that double frag, 6 HP left, can very quickly recover here in the rail room. It's going to turn into the mail room here as it, do we have a knockout? No, he's still alive. He's trying to get back out and he manages to squeeze out of there. That's 41 to 29, 9 frags left, and AMD will be able to put another map under their belt.
Yeah, it was so close for a little bit, but it looks like it just slipped away here as a Last Chance. Not looking so hot, 13 frags down, and Cooler just holding this position with the rail out, saying, hey, we have the advantage.
Gonna drop.
Yeah,
and you can see that Galena up there looking for it. It's not gonna happen just yet, as the Mega's gonna be up and taken away by Last Chance. Cooler's gonna be trying to trap maybe a little bit too much, and Toxic is in a bad state, as both players from Last Chance can get away, but what can they get away to? The Heavy's gonna be the next thing to really play for. They're gonna get some info from the teleporter, but are they gonna be expecting a fight from the rail room? Yes, yes they are. That's gonna be flooding the corridor with rockets and tribal, but nobody really was able to commit to that, so it doesn't really turn into anything all that great for Last Chance.
Yeah, no real initial damage on either side from that fight here. As a Cooler just holding his position, waiting for Toxic to pick up the Mega. 8 seconds to power up here. They're going to maintain lower. Actually, Cooler's going to go towards mid.
Yeah, Cooler breaking out towards the Heavy, or at least faking that way. Oh, a great rocket out of Ved there. It's going to be traded frags, but Ved now will be on the protection. Unfortunately for him, it's not a quad. They really do need to pick up these 13 frags. It's going to be, a caught Cooler as he goes down. And finally, they're able to route a little bit more effectively and make some of these fights happen.
Yeah, that was a bit curious from Cooler, as he kind of delayed on the mid area and just kind of gave it up for free almost. Toxic was over on the Mega side. Maybe they tried to have some sort of pincer movement here, but again, we see Ved just trying to find bodies and can't do it. 12 frags down with 3 minutes left. It's going to be a very tall mountain to climb.
Yeah, you can almost see the Psy visibly escaping Ved right now as Toxic pulls him on down. It's going to be a nice double frag for him as well within the finishing line of Molten Falls. And again, like, I think what Ved and Venom could really do yesterday was just play some of these smaller maps, really keep the pace up, really allow things to become all about just the individual fragging ability. But here on these larger maps, the larger strategery really does come into it.
Yeah. To try and readjust and play a little bit better defensively here, as Toxic just making it rain tribals everywhere. A little bit of an LG tickle there, but at 46 to 31, it's only a matter of time. Pops the vision, gets a good damage. Ooh, misses that rail barely. Cooler comes in and says, all right, Ved, you're gonna die now.
That's the crossfire you really do want to set up here on Molten Falls, and there's the trap on the Mega. Wasn't quite committed to, but Cooler's gonna be finishing off what Toxic started. And this is going to be a great pincher. Okay, yeah, he doesn't really want to chase somebody through the banana, but Toxic coming back over here to Nailgun. He's going to be expecting a fight anywhere, and that tribal gets Ved down. One more frag to go, and Toxic's going to be lurking up below. It could be the rail, it could be the tribal, it could be anything. But right now, Last Chance is going to be on their last leg if they can't take Molten Falls.
Dodging bullets for the time being, but it's only a matter of time. One rocket, another one goes up the trampoline.
They are living on borrowed time, and that is going to be the end of it there. Again, just exactly one moment of a fist bump, and then right back to just staring at their screens. No emotion. Actually, you can see Cooler a little bit like, interesting.
It's like, what am I going to have for dinner? No, yeah, another, pretty dominant display from AMD there. They kept it close for a while, and then they just kind of hit this wall where Last Chance is just kind of like, oh, we lost items, we don't really know what to do, we lost the power-up, and then it just kind of spirals out of control.
Last Chance was able to take away several of those power-ups, and there were moments where AMD was rotating the items so hard and had them off of timing so much that they weren't really able to move as a single unit, and that kind of broke up their ability to collide on the power-ups, and so that gave Last Chance a bit of a leg up, but in the end, it didn't really do much for the individual frags.
Toxic, I mean, when he just does that, when he catches you out with LG, that's never good either. And Cooler's hitting all kinds of rails, Toxic's hitting rails. It's going to be a huge mountain to climb as we go into Blood Covenant.
Blood Covenant, so we're finally getting into a slightly smaller map, but still about the largest of the maps of its caliber. And this is going to be a map that Cooler and Tox have decades of experience in. It's going to be really rough for them to do much about it here. And we have a little bit of comms there. We have a little bit of top. Actually, whenever we got into the team comms, it was pretty tight-lipped.
Yeah, for the most part, just kind of, okay, they're there. Let's go here. little bit of damage on there. And I mean, clear, concise comms is exactly what you want. Looks like Ved and Yenem are like, all right, maybe we should try this. Yeah, you down with that? Okay, yeah,
Maybe,
we'll do that.
maybe shoot them.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Maybe we hit them with damage.
Yeah. So you're right. It is going to be Blood Covenant as map 3 and potential match point for AMD. It's got to feel good for them, and I'm sure Last Chance has got to be feeling a little hot under the collar.
Yeah, a lot of pressure here, as you saw those trophies earlier. One team is going to take those home later.
And compared to most trophies, you can probably even get those on an airplane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is nice.
It is nice. Probably not a weapon. Looks pretty heavy, though. All right, but here we go. Blood Covenant match point for AMD once again. And I'm really going to be interested in the champ picks. Really going to be interested in the initial spawns. But here we go. It looks like it's going to be Galena Visor, the classic, the unmistakable duo, as Venom will be spawning at Mega and immediately rushing back over towards Rail. I mean, nobody has any movement champions here, so you can be fairly sure that off the spawns, if you have a spawn that puts you pretty close to the rail, you're going to get a first. And he's going to get a first, but he has to switch back to Tribal to stay defensive. And soaking him a little bit of blood for the HP, but it won't be a whole lot cooler making first blood.
Yeah, I'm not connecting with these rails like he needs to, but doing a good job staying alive for the time being. Totems at that staircase, you're going to want to see 3 of those soon out of Yenem so he can get that overstack going for his team.
He didn't see Toxic around the pillar there and didn't know how low he was and how baitable he was to force that fight, but Venom's going to be fairly low on any kind of armor here whatsoever. Really good stacks out of, well, nobody really right now. Both Visors have a little bit of armor to work with, but at the moment, it's a big play over mid.
Yenem just holding top rocket control. He's going to drop down and miss a quick peek rail on Cooler. Toxic's going to take advantage as he comes in through the rocket area.
Really good response out of Toxic. Venom thought he could get back up that jump pad for free, but nothing is free in Blood Covenant.
Trying to make it over to power up, just taking so much damage. Toxic absolutely melting that heavy machine gun. About 10 seconds left to power up. Ved does a great job of killing Toxic, but that'll just work as a good reset here. Ved with fantastic rockets through the TP now. Very, very weak. With 4 seconds up, he dies at the worst time. Cooler takes them both out, and it looks like that'll net AMD the power up here.
That's going to be quad o'clock here for AMD. It's going to be Toxic on the run as Cooler will be holding down the homestead at the Mega. But Ved manages to take them down the quad carrier with an LG. He doesn't have a rocket launcher, doesn't have any good way to attack the bridge, and everybody on AMD is going to know that, just spamming off here. But there's the pop that gives Ved the angle he needed.
Yeah, he's like, thank you for that. You elevated me to where I needed to LG.
What a pal. What a guy.
As it ticks down, he's going to grab that rail and make his way over to the Mega. It's up in 5. He's going to take too much damage, can't really push forward. Does get one last rail. Very stubborn. Lucky to be alive here as Toxic's going to push around the banana, and he's going to eat a lot of LG for that.
Yeah, he just got unpeeled there by that LG. Ved with a great prediction there on the rail as well. Looking for the long-range damage. Both items have been taken and stolen away here. AMD is going to be on the Mega. We got Last Chance with a little bit of armor under their belts, but here they are moving back over towards pillars, getting ready in a minute here for the protection. But Ved is still relatively weak.
Trying to work his way back to this Mega, but he knows it's not safe as they're going to have to concede that and play for this heavy ray here. Looks like they might get a clean pickup out of it over for Ved as Yenem's holding that rocket area.
Yeah, Venom actually spawned over at the corner armor, so Ved did the right thing by kind of backing off, going, okay, nothing's really coming up, but at least I don't need to split the map for you. Cooler's trying to push on in. It's going to work. It's going to be a double LG attack in order to get set up here on the bridge. Just going to allow Last Chance to move back over to the pillars, but holding it down without a whole lot of weapons is going to be tough. No rails, no rockets, maybe LG, maybe Tribal.
So much machine gun
and
here.
A lot of machine gun, yeah.
Unbelievable amount of machine gun from both players there. That's going to net that Mega, and this will be the play for the power up here as he's going to make his way back to this telly. Yenem already set up. Out comes Cooler, and in comes Tox, and they both go down. Ved will win, but will his protection get them any more frags? Pops the vision now. Can he catch them out?
That power up room always looks like a West Side Story standoff to me, but it's going to turn into Ved holding on to the protection just barely. Cooler wants to finish him off before he gets that 50 HP. He's going to be running away with it, turning that 50 into 100, but not committing to the fight. He's going to be looking for a little bit of damage here, and he's getting a little bit wrapped around, like, where are they actually coming from?
Yeah, I like that play. He's just not even going for frags anymore.
Nice.
At that point, just trying to establish control, get the timing on some items, make sure that you are in control, as he only has one rocket left. Needs to be careful here.
Ironically enough, we haven't had too many opportunities to say last chance about last chance, usually about their opponents here, but this map is going to be it. Currently down one map, and Cooler takes the rocket right between the eyes. A great rocket jump up here. Toxic is going to be found as well. The switch this time a little bit slower from Ved, but here comes Venom to try to finish him off. Oh, he's back, and Cooler's there as well.
Yeah, so much LG coming up from Trampoline. Ved can't handle it, and he'll go down. But the game is still very close here. Cooler going through the TP, eating a lot of machine gun damage. Both teams doing a great job of just cessing with that machine gun from distances, and they don't have other weapons to rely on. Heavy will be up soon. Cooler eats a lot of damage, throws down that totem to try and stay alive. He's a little bit early for the Mega, but it looks like they'll pay off.
Yeah, last chance is going to have a slightly better stack advantage up until this Mega's taken away. But Cooler also is going to need to dive down for some weapons. He's going to have a lot of LG here, but he's caught at the choke point. Unfortunately for him, it's his teammate who came around the corner there, so the Cooler can leave this fight a little bit more gracefully. But it is an awkward fight there at the shotgun.
Yeah, Cooler looking for anything he can to stack back up with. He's only going to have a lone 25 for now, maybe a second one next to Heavy. Decides to go grab it. Possibly totem the telly, but instead he'll use it over by the pillar. Doesn't have overstack yet, but he does have the Mega. With 4 seconds left, here comes the fight over the power-up. That takes down Tox. Cooler takes down Yenem. Will get it, but he's very weak. Has a lot of totems again to work with.
Yeah, but they still got to be calling out, you know, he won't have a lot of armor. He won't have all the health in the world. They might not have been counting totems. Maybe they don't know that there's not 3 up. So Cooler's still going to be very dangerous. Venom goes down, and Ved is going to be in a very difficult spot.
Yeah, tries to do his best to take out Cooler. Cooler just has enough to live. There comes the totem, and there comes the overstack and the Mega. This is trouble.
That's a lot of help. So Cooler's going to be right back where he needed to be. But a great rocket from Ved is going to shut him on down. But he's literally going to have 1 second of that quad to enjoy before reality comes crashing back down on him. But it's going to be a traded off frag. That's going to be decent for last chance at the moment.
Yeah, back to earth, back to reality here. Is 14-13. The game is still extremely close. Mega's going to be up soon as AMD makes the play for it, positioning well. Toxic will eat a rail here as a last chance trying to get their way into it. At least I think Yenem was close enough to get the timing on it. Ved needs to back off as he's alone at Rocket. Again, Yenem just harassing Tox with these rails.
Yeah, I mean, Toxic was really looking like he was trying to understand the concept of not having a railgun. But he's going to be eating a bit of rocket damage there, fending off a Tri-Bolt. Cooler's got him at the top side as well, but Cooler's not all that stacked either, so here comes the armor for Toxic and the play on the bridge. And they've got to be careful not to splash each other.
Yenem's just hitting these crazy rails here. He will get taken down as, wow, Ved with so much machine gun damage on Tox. Not quite enough to take him out. He's going to grab a 50. He's going to take out Cooler and get the Mega as well. Tox is just a sitting duck here at the bottom of pillars as Ved raining down rockets, jumping around like a house of pain. Vision pop from Toxic somehow survives. Cooler takes down Ved.
And narrowly avoiding that totem.
Like, oh,
I mean, so much about TDM is about, you know, getting the clean frags, but also getting the frags where you know you're living on borrowed time and still be able to survive anyway. Just take away 125 here, 125 there. You don't need to be engaged in the fight the whole time. That's why you hear in the comms like, I'm going passive for a while. Whatever you're dealing with, deal with it by yourself best you can. But right now it's going to be all about the protection coming up. And we're going to see a pickup here from Ved. Toxic's going to drop down onto him, but Ved's already got the grab, and he is getting out with it.
That was a scramble for the power-up. Luckily for Ved, he'll get it. And they are living on a prayer right now as we're halfway there into the game. Goes up the jump pad, tries to use the LG. Wow. What? That was insane. Great
Ved
rail
being
again.
very calm about his shots, but he's being consistent with his rails here at least. There's a switch over to LG. A few seconds left on the protection, but Cooler will still manage to train him down.
Toxic takes down Ved again, and Cooler using everything he can, grabbing that 50 toteming at the jump pad again. He's been very dominant over on this Mega side here.
I'm sure he's going to want rockets at some point, but right now it's about denying the rails from Venom. Venom's already got some, but he's not dropping from the catwalk yet, and that is going to be the end of him. Toxic taking him from behind.
Missed a rail from Cooler here. He's going to go for another one. A little bit of LG tickle from across the way. Gets floated a bit. Ved, wow, gets taken down. Clutch rail shot from Cooler there.
And this is still incredibly close. I mean, we're 50 seconds away from a quad, and this is going to be an important one. Cooler and Toxic are already here at Pillars. They're going to have, of course, you know, another Mega to pick up, another Heavy to pick up. Cooler's going to be breaking out towards mid here just a little bit, but making sure to keep it a tight loop to get some opportunities for damage on last chance.
Toxic's so weak. If you could look at his health there, absolutely incredible. Toxic still gets a kill off of it, survives, and this is going to be huge. 20 seconds to the quad. Cooler peeking out, trying to find out where the enemies are here. Great rail, and he followed up with another one. Misses the second shot. Totem goes down for last chance. Eats another rail though. Needs to be careful as Cooler makes his way over. He's going to go for it here. Pushes the LG. Yenem goes down. Ved trying to fight them both off, but he can't. Toxic and Cooler doing a great job of taking control of that power-up.
Cleaning house before the quad even comes back up ensures that he's going to have a decent stack at least for his run. So it's going to be Cooler who's going to be relatively weak here, but hopefully he's at least feeding some information. Toxic will be popping his own piercing sight, getting the train down on last chance.
So much damage coming out here. Toxic trying to get more mileage out of this quad. Will drop down and delete a totem and actually find a Venom too with a little bit of a tickle. Could get another one through the through the telly. And Ved didn't need to be there. Run away.
I mean, so many of these
17.
maps, yeah, they're neck and neck for such a long time, but then you take one bad quad and that 2-frag lead turns into a 7-frag lead, if not more in this case. And we've seen Last Chance on several maps be fairly loose with how they're approaching the quad. They think, all right, eventually he's gonna die. I mean, and by the numbers, yeah, he is. But how many frags are you gonna trade for that? Is it worth it?
Let me work it as 32-19. Ved doing a good job taking down Cooler. They really need to get in on these items, take control, and get this next power up. It will be protection, which is a little bit unfortunate. It's not really the power up you see for going on big frag runs or anything, but they could at least utilize that to try and stabilize and get control here. Cooler takes down Yenem. Toxic will eat a rail in the back, make that 2. Will it be 3 as he has 30 HP, 225s to work with? Still very railable though.
And some of these turnarounds have potentially happened for Last Chance just because they make a weird rotation that AMD honestly wasn't expecting. This would be, you know, right now we're 2 up on nil, and it very well could become 3 up on nil, but we've seen so many times where Last Chance does something that AMD just isn't even aware of.
Yeah, we saw that flank on Molten Falls from Yenem that led to like 3 frags and then the power up. That was fantastic. They're going to need exactly something like that as they're trailing by 15 here.
They've proven they can do it time and time again, but you're right, this is a big gap to catch up. Venom's going to be back here mid-map, looking for this rail to open things up for Ved to finish off Toxic. Nicely done. And everybody's going to be fairly well stacked up at the moment, but there's the protection. No more assault, no more attack from AMD. They're going to be going into deep hiding. And here, I know this is a protection instead of a quad, but you can see how they set up and make sure that this is not going to be easy, low-hanging fruit for them.
And let's try and listen to AMD as they're trying to play defensively here against this power-up.
Rocket still.
Okay. Heavy now.
Yep.
I'm pushing.
On it.
Okay.
Heavy still up.
Dead, sorry. We have 12 plus. On Mega.
Rich.
Mega safe actually. Need shot.
One
Mega.
banana, both
Mega.
above you. Yes. Push Y so if you can.
Yeah, but you took shot. Okay, play heavy. It's 40.
Going to go up rail.
1 at T. Behind you. I'm at Galena.
A little bit more talkative this time out of AMD, and it's having an effect. They are able to collide and collapse on on these guys at every possible circumstance. Venom's going to be taking a lot of damage here. Tonks is just doing what Tonks do with his LG. We've got some great defensive rails coming out of Venom, but he is just bleeding out of every orifice, trying to get away from the fight. But 38-29, we could see this thing go to 50 in short order.
Yeah, 2 minutes left too, and we did see a good run from Last Chance with that protection, but it might be too little too late here as Toxic with the LG on the Yenem near those rockets. Taking it away.
You can see Venom kind of taking his hands off the keyboard for a second, wiping his brow. Never a good sign. Meanwhile, Toxic, I assure you that video is live. He is moving from time to time.
Yeah, I saw his eyes move. I swear I saw it. And Ved swears he saw that as the rocket goes through Toxic's face here. Pops the vision, needs to get in on this. 3 seconds to the quad. There's the help. Cooler goes down. Ved gets a little bit of machine gun damage off, but he's going to opt to try and drop down onto Cooler here as he's stuck in the pillars. Great job from Ved. 39-32 here, but time is ticking. 1:15 left.
Yeah, this is going to be the time for Ved to make a fantastic quad run. He's going to be able to find both AMD players down at the banana, and that is going to be a nasty, nasty pair. As Ved's still going to be at 7 HP, the machine gun itself would be very dangerous against him right now. He's going to be stumbling a little bit, moving over to the health, but that's the right idea. Venom was right behind him, able to pick up the quad and able to enjoy these last few moments, but it will not translate into any more frags.
Yeah, less than 50 seconds left, and AMD is just going to play corners and just play super defensive here. Last Chance needs to play super hyper-aggressive. They don't have any choice here. 40 seconds left, 34 to 41.
This is going to be Venom after getting some health with a decent enough stack, but he's going to have some good rails off against Cooler, but at that side of the map, he's not going to be able to push in. In fact, he's about to push in from behind here, as Cooler's going to be stuck down at the pillars, but Venom is expecting a fight.
2 quick frags from Cooler, wow.
They just kind of landed in his lap. No big deal. Good rocket out of Cooler, and Venom didn't even see him up there. It was like, what? What hurts?
It's like, what are you doing up here? But 45 to 34 here, and these are just going to be garbage time frags. Yenim making a statement at least, and that'll be it. AMD will take it 3-0 in the series.
As the door prize frag, not a bad way to go. Last Chance making it so much further than I think anybody expected, and going down at the hands of Cooler and Toxic is no shabby thing at all, but it means that Cooler and Toxic will indeed be moving into the grand final.
Yeah, not a bad run at all from Last Chance. They did a great job. We saw them kind of handle Cyberfight earlier pretty well. People didn't expect that. But, I mean, when you run into Toxic Cooler and they have some data on you, I mean, what do you expect? That's a rough matchup.
That is, absolutely. And you can see how Toxic Cooler have been maybe guiding the map choices a little bit. They definitely wanted to play something a little bit slower, a little bit more chill. I'm sure when we get to the grand final, things are going to get cranked up to 11. But at the moment, they've got a little bit of breathing room. We're going to be going to the next semifinal, but we're also going to be going to our analyst desk to kind of relax from that match a little bit.
Oh, sorry, you caught me enjoying my favorite beverage. Let me finish my notes on my Corsair laptop. Okay, good to know. Don't bet against AMD. So AMD, they've done it. They've been able to take the victory in another 3-0 fashion. Last Chance had a good couple of moments, but a couple of moments won't win you games.
They were just outclassed. Yeah. I mean, you could see it all game. And we said it early going in. I clearly went with the underdog pick. We're talking about on paper. DeHang said it on paper. You know, Tox Cooler. You really can't see why you would vote against them. I kind of went with the, shot in the wind there, and definitely didn't work out. But yeah, it was a dominant performance by AMD. It was a clear-cut win all around.
Yeah, they won on control. They won, I think, on the items, the power-ups, the aim. Everything just went AMD's way, and they played a stellar game, and it showed in the scores.
Also, it wasn't very often that you ever saw AMD get split up. When power-ups are coming up, they were there. When major items were up, they were there. So a couple of times it happened due to someone getting fragged right before one of these items had respawned back in. But those obviously you can't do much about in that situation.
And one of the things they were great at, and they did it in the first match against Last Chance, was this little bait switch things they would do. They would draw somebody in and have somebody flank or be there behind them. Example, top portal on Molten Falls. Vedmedic chased. They showed Cooler at the other end. He went straight after Cooler. Right behind him was Tox. He just got obliterated in about 2 seconds.
Yeah, something else that really impressed me from AMD is how well they managed resources. There were a few occasions where, for example, Cooler was just about to take 2 health bubbles, but then he looked at Tox and they coordinated a bit, and Cooler was like, you know what, I'll take one of these. Tox, you have the better weapons, you take the other bubble, and then go on to Mega. So that was really nice to see them make these very important decisions. Yeah, as you said, Cooler, definitely one of the smartest players in the game.
Well, let's actually take a look at some top 3 plays. Maybe we'll see some smart plays in this list, as we did have AMD. I don't want to say a walkover. We did see some good performances, but in hindsight and looking back at this, yes, AMD did put on a good show, but we have to give some major shout-outs to these 2 players of Yenim and Vedmedic, because they really surprised a lot of people out there, and they really showed they're a top contender in North America.
I think if most people said they picked Last Chance to get to the semifinals, I'd say they were lying. So I think they did have a very good showing, but hey, they just ran into a powerhouse. That's what happened here. Yeah. I mean, they had their moments, but again, it was just a semi-close but clear win for AMD. I just felt like they had a little more class as the game went along.
Speaking of class, we do have a man with tons of it here on the desk now, Cooler. First of all, just to break straight into it here, because I know we don't have you for too long. I want to give you some time to rest and watch the next match. What changed from yesterday to today to play against these guys? What did you mentally figure out to do against them, and how did you prepare specifically for that match?
It's hard to tell actually, but
Okay.
I'll try anyway. Actually, we didn't really change since yesterday, but you know, like first game is always like a little bit shaky. Now I'm just saying about yesterday's game.
Yeah.
So actually on first map yesterday it was a little bit shaky, and we just was trying to like check how the style, how the speed, how the like everything is going on. But today we are like completely realized that we are stronger, and we just need to focus on play on our game. That's it.
Yeah, it did seem as you guys played your own game and just kind of worked things. It just seemed like you would just steadily pull away. They had their moments to kind of maybe get a quad and steal it from you, pull within, but in between, it just seemed like you and Tox were working so well together. Can you talk a little bit about how you guys just pull out these traps? It just seems like you're so good at showing one of you and baiting somebody in while one of you hits the other guy from behind. You caught him several times like this.
It's kind of improvisation, to be honest. We are just like playing, and whatever is going on, we are just trying to build something special for us. Like if we have to play passive, maybe we just stay together somewhere. Maybe if we got some info, we are just making a trap and stuff like that. Like in general, we're just playing together and like giving info which make us more as a unit, as you said yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, perhaps a question about the other team, because Last Chance is a team that very few people would have expected to get this far. What is it you think that on the one hand makes them so good, and on the other, what might they still improve on?
Two-part question.
I should say they are always positive between each other. This is really makes sense for the team. Like if, not really matter if you are winning or losing, but if you are like respecting each other and staying positive and even like kidding,
Yeah.
sometimes it makes like you as a team like more as a family, let's say. And yeah, I saw that moment from them. Like they're always like smiling, saying something, like discussing some and stuff like that. I think yeah, it's special for us.
I legit thought you were trying to bait him in to talk about aggression on that one for some reason.
Oh, no.
But anyways, actually, while we have you here really quickly, Cooler, let's take a look at the brackets one more time, because we have one more semifinal to come, and I'm curious about your thoughts on this match in particular. Liquid up against Nemiga in a semifinal. What's your thoughts on this? Who would you rather play? Because obviously, Rafa, you want some revenge against him, but you know Cypher and Avik so well as well.
Yeah, we could say like Cypher and Avik are like super hyped. Like after winning Maestro U on the last map, like with just one frag difference, they are like super happy, let's say, and they're like trying to get more. And I feel like it could be possible. But in general, yeah, Liquid is, yeah, it's favorite.
All right, well, Cooler, thank you very much for your time, and congratulations on the victory. We've seen you guys in the grand finals in just a little bit of time, but we will head to a break. When we come back, we're going to have our last semifinal of the day.
You won't even see me coming.
The bigger the guns, the bigger the...